Hello, dear students and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 6 of 8 in the series of fundamentals of developing a computer program, in which we are going to learn about program implementation and maintenance. My name is Meme JM, or you can simply call me MNSWAP. In this presentation, we are going to look at the introduction to program implementation, the program review and monitoring performance, introduction to program maintenance, the program maintenance tools, maintenance schedule development, rectification of bugs, and handling requested changes. Let's begin by looking at the introduction to program implementation. Program implementation is the actual delivery and installation of new program ready for use and training the users for the new system design. A common practice is to run the new system in parallel with the old system to ensure that if something goes wrong, the business does not come to a grinding halt. Therefore, program implementation entails the following procedure. Number one, preparing an operational environment and installing the program in the user's computers. Number two is training users on how to use or operate the new system. Number three is carrying out file conversion and program changeover. Number four is carrying out post-implementation evaluation of the program. Number five is presenting a final report to management. When we speak about program review and monitoring of performance, we are simply speaking about the process of checking whether the program is still meeting its intended purpose. It is therefore important because it exposes the errors that may be encountered after the program has been implemented or exposed to extensive use. It is therefore the process of going through the specifications and testing the program after implementation to find out whether it still meets the original objectives or not. Then, after a number of successful parallel runs, the old system is abandoned and the new system becomes fully operational. At this point, the system goes into the final stage of monitoring and review or evaluation, where the performance of the system is evaluated with reference to the initial requirements. In addition, after a new program has been implemented and has been in use for some time, a new need may arise due to a new problem, a new directive, or a new opportunity, which may make an analyst discover a need for a new system or modification or a complete overhaul of the entire program. This restarts the program development lifecycle. System performance monitoring is therefore the process of observing and analyzing a system's performance to identify potential issues. It involves measuring performance over time against key performance indicators, while performance monitoring is a set of processes and tools that enable a user to be able to determine how well or fast applications are running in the cloud. Due to the nature of cloud applications being highly distributed, special software is required to be able to trace where traffic is going between networks and applications to truly understand how well an application is performing. Performance monitoring data can help organizations to plan and provision resources, conduct diagnostics and troubleshoot performance issues, improve cybersecurity, manage billing and accounting, and boost the end user experience. Therefore, some of the ways that can be used to monitor system performance are performance testing metrics. These include response time, throughput, and error rate. Number two is cloud monitoring. This uses information from cloud data centers and the apps and services running on them in order to help the IT teams detect and respond to performance issues. Number three is IT infrastructure monitoring. This collects and reviews metrics on the IT environment's hardware and low-level software. The fourth one is network performance monitoring, which monitors the health of personal computers and other network devices. The fifth one is Windows Performance Monitor. This is a built-in tool that tracks and analyzes system performance in real time. It can provide insights into CPU usage, memory consumption, disk activity, and network traffic. In order to keep your system fit for purpose, your monitoring activities need to cover the following priorities. Number one is acceptable delivery speeds. Number two is constant availability. Number three is preventative maintenance. Number four is software conversion monitoring and patching. Number five is intrusion detection. Number six is data integrity. Number seven is security monitoring. Number eight is attack mitigation. Number nine is virus protection detection. Number 10 is rectification of bugs. A bug is any mismatch or an error in a program that produces unexpected results and prevents software to behave correctly. How do you maintain a program, or what is program maintenance? Program maintenance is the process of making any corrections or updates on the program as need arises. It entails adjustment and enhancement of requirements or correction of errors after the program has been implemented. It is therefore the process of modifying a software or a program after delivery to achieve any of the following outcomes: correct errors, improve performance and functionalities, remove obsolete portions. It ensures that the current programs are operating error-free, efficiently, and effectively. In maintenance, the programmers update software to correct errors, improve stability, standardize and adjust organization's changes. In addition, updating and the correction of the program for changed conditions and further experience are accounted for in maintenance. Therefore, maintenance becomes essential in the following situations where there is a change in the specification or a change in equipment. All the activities that occur after the completion of the program come under the program maintenance. Moreover, it is not a part of the implementation process directly, but it plays an important role. Furthermore, the cost of maintenance is more than the cost of development. The following are therefore the functions of a program maintenance. 1. Finding and correcting errors. 2. Modifying the program to enhance it so as to either adapt it to some new laws or government policies or change the hardware or operating system. Number 3 is update the documentation part. Number 4, add new features and functions. Number 5 is remove useless parts of the code. So, the 4 main types of maintenance are corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance, adaptive maintenance, and perfective maintenance. What is corrective maintenance? It is a maintenance. It's a process that diagnoses and corrects errors in an operational system. It calls for careful analysis before making any changes to avoid introducing new problems. In this process, the developers fix the errors which come after the use of the software. Moreover, the users themselves point out these errors. It is necessary when something goes wrong in a piece of software. Here, errors that come after on-site implementation are fixed. When it comes to preventive maintenance, this is an action or the acts that are carried out to serve as precaution, since we modify the code to avoid any errors in the future. And therefore, preventive maintenance acts as a precaution, since we modify the code to avoid any errors in the future. It is composed of modifications that are done to avoid errors in the future. Then we have what we call the adaptive maintenance. Adaptive maintenance is usually the process of adding new features or capability to the program, thus improving its efficiency or maintainability. The changes in our environment may sometimes require making changes in the software as well. Therefore, it is adaptive maintenance. For example, changing the software according to some new rules of the government. It is important when the environment of your software changes. The changes in the working environment sometimes require modifications in the software. For example, if government education policy changes, corresponding changes have to be made in student result processing module of a school management software. Then we have what we call the perfective maintenance. It involves changing an operational system to make it more efficient, reliable, or maintainable, and ensure that it's always up to date with the latest technology. It aims at enhancing the performance, usability, or maintainability of software. It involves keeping the software up to date with the latest technology and enabling the programmers to include any recommendations from the users in the software. Therefore, the changes that are done in the existing software to incorporate the new requirements from the client and make the program remain up to date with modern trends and technology is called perfective maintenance. So for us to be able to carry out maintenance activity, there are certain tools that we need. So which are the program maintenance tools that we require so that we can be able to perform maintenance for a program? The first one is called the program slicer. It highlights the part of code that will get affected by the change that you make. Number two is data flow analyzer. It defines and tells you the possible data flow in the software. Number three is dynamic analyzer. It defines the execution part of the software. Number four is static analyzer. It helps to view the software as a whole. In other words, it allows summarizing the program. Number five is dependency analyzer. It will make you understand the dependencies of different parts of the program. Number six is software tools. This includes antivirus, anti-malware, disk defragmenter, disk cleaner, backup software, system diagnostic utilities, and remote desktop software. Well, the following are some techniques to help you perform the maintenance of a program. That is program maintenance techniques. One, conditional monitoring. Regularly monitor factors like vibration, temperature, and lubrication conditions to detect anomalies early. Number two is planned maintenance. Always schedule maintenance at a defined period in time to prevent equipment failures. Number three is preventive maintenance or predictive maintenance. It requires reliable and accurate predictions of a system's lifetime. Number four is total productive maintenance or TPM. It aims to progressively change maintenance techniques in order to increase equipment output. So how do you schedule? When do you carry out your maintenance activities? So maintenance schedule development. A programmer does not make changes in the program anyhow. He or she required to develop a schedule for program maintenance, which can be being followed in order to know when to carry out some maintenance operation. The following are therefore some steps to guide the programmer when developing a maintenance schedule. Number one is to define a maintenance planner. A maintenance planner should have the knowledge and the experience to define the maintenance strategy and assign tasks to the maintenance team. Number two is to establish maintenance tasks. Determine the regular maintenance tasks that are required to keep each asset running reliably. Number three is to create checklists. Develop checklists that outline the required materials and step-by-step procedures for each maintenance task. Number four is to establish maintenance priorities. Determine the priorities for maintenance tasks. Number five is regularly review and update. The maintenance plan should be reviewed and updated regularly to reflect changes in the system and its environment. A maintenance plan is therefore a key component of a facility management strategy. It helps ensure that facilities are safe, efficient, and perform optimally. A well-developed maintenance plan can also help reduce the risk of accidents, failures, and breakdowns. The following are therefore some activities to be carried out when developing a maintenance plan. Number one, develop an asset inventory by listing all what you have. Number two, determine tasks associated with the inventory. Number three, develop a schedule and assign tasks. Number four, perform budget and the cost analysis. Number five, formulate an evaluation plan. Then once you identify certain bugs, you need to rectify them. So the process of fixing a bug in a software is called debugging. Some steps you can take to fix or rectify a bug include: one is identifying the bug, understand the problem and where it originated. Then replicate the bug. Make sure that the team understands the issue by replicating it. Number three is to make changes. Determine where the change needs to be made and implement the corrective code changes. Number four is to review and validate. Review the changes and then test the software to ensure that the bug is fixed. Developers are often responsible for fixing bugs that are identified and documented during testing. To verify that a bug is fixed, you can try the same steps that caused the bug and see if the software behaves correctly. In conclusion, software bug correction is an essential process to ensure that the problem works or the program works properly and meets its goals. There are various techniques and tools available to detect and correct errors, as well as a variety of tracking systems to help ensure that errors are efficiently identified and addressed. So how do you handle the requested changes? If you are requested to handle changes in a program, here are some steps that you can take when handling those requested changes. Number one is to identify the need for the change. Determine the impact of the change on the program's objectives, scope, schedule, budget, quality, and risks. You can also use tools like stakeholder feedback, performance data, and market trends to analyze the factors that lead to the change. Number two is prioritize the change requests. Not all change requests are equally urgent or impactful. Prioritize them based on factors like business impact, customer needs, and technical dependencies. Number three is to assess the change request. Consider how the change will affect the project's objectives, scope, quality, cost, time, risks, and benefits. You can use tools like impact analysis, cost-benefit analysis, feasibility study, or decision matrix to help evaluate the change request. Number four is to communicate change requests. Communicate the change request rationally, objectives, scope, and impact the project team, client, and learners. Number five, involve relevant stakeholders. Communication and collaboration can help build trust, reduce resistance, and identify as well as resolve potential conflicts. Number six is plan the change implementation. Give all stakeholders time to provide strategic input before making changes. Then change review and evaluation. Record and consider all change requests so that each stakeholder's input is valued. The following are therefore 5 tips to help you manage a project change request effectively. 1. Develop a clear, documented, repeatable change management process. Develop a straightforward process that is easy for everyone involved in the project to follow. It is essential that the process is transparent and communicated to everyone involved to ensure change requests are handled promptly. Number 2, evaluate all change requests quickly. Be proactive and help the person considering or requesting the change work through the change request process and get approval. You want to work with the project team members and stakeholders, not against them. Be open to change because change is the only constant. Number three, consider total impact of the change. Evaluate the total impact of the change and determine how best to respond. The aim should be to ensure that any modifications are managed to minimize disruption at other parts of the project. This requires taking into account any dependencies between tasks and considering potential risks associated with making changes. Number four, make transparent decisions. Make decisions about expected change, tell everyone involved about the change, and get to work. Being clear and timely about decisions regarding change requests will build confidence across the team that things are being worked out and managed well. Number five, practice an open mental stance and be open to change. It is often a natural instinct to protect your existing project, plan, scope, schedule, and the budget. However, remember that your job is to facilitate the project outcomes, not to fight against the needs of the project sponsors. Don't take it personally when something needs to change. Be open to it and seek to understand why it's important and how it will lead to better project outcomes. Software by correction is an essential process to ensure that a program works properly and meets its goals. There are various techniques and tools available to detect and correct errors, as well as a variety of tracking systems to help ensure that errors are efficiently identified and addressed. And with that, we have come to the end of part 6 of the series. Let's meet in part 7 of the series, in which we are going to learn about program documentation. Congratulations for learning part 6 of 8 on program implementation and maintenance in fundamentals of developing computer program. You can access the rest of the parts in the series, as well as other computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on the MLSWAP ICT YouTube channel below this video. To subscribe to the channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further correspondence, kindly write it to us through the email mlswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless.